we started discussing about Power Query user interface. And then we discussed about how ETL activities will be performed in Power Query. And then we discussed about how to change the data type of the columns, what is data type, how to change the data type of the columns. And we started discussing about filters in the Power Query. So I said that when we will use the filters, I just given some introduction to filters. So when we will use the filters is, so when your source contains complete data, and when you want to load subset of data into the Power Pivot, when you want to load subset of data into the Power Pivot, we'll use filters in the Power Query. Sometimes we don't need all the data which are there in the tables. You will have some tables in the SQL Server. The tables will have millions of records. We don't need all the millions of records here. We need to filter some rows. We need to load it. So then we need to use the filters in Power Query. Now let me start discussing about it. So I'm opening Power BI Desktop. Fine. Once we open Power BI Desktop, how to go to Power Query? Home tab, click on Transform Data. So let me bring the tables. Click on New Source, click on Excel, Desktop Backup, Source Files, bring some tables here. Click on Open. Now my orders table contains all the 4 regions data. I don't want to load all the 4 regions data. I want to create the reports on only central region data. So that means into Power Pivot, you just load central region orders only. Don't load all the 4 regions orders. I have all the 4 regions orders, but I want to create reports on only central region. I want to filter the data. When you want to filter the data, you want to go to the column where you need to filter the data. You need to click on Expand button. When you click on Expand button, you'll find 2 types of filters here. I said that in Power Query we can filter the data in 2 ways. One is through basic filtering. This is basic filtering, guys. Another one is through advanced filtering. So in the basic filtering section, this is basic filtering section and this is advanced filtering section. Sometimes we can achieve the requirement with basic. Sometimes we cannot achieve the requirement with basic. We need to go with advanced filtering options. So what basic filtering section will show is on which column you are trying to filter the data. On that column, what are the distinct values you have? It will show here. I'm trying to filter the data on region column. On region column, these are the distinct values I have. Central, East, South, West. And you can uncheck it. You can uncheck and you can select which region data you need to load. I want to load only central region data. I can select central here. When I press OK, so when I select central, when I press OK, it will filter only central data. And I click on close and apply, it will load the table with only central region data. Fine. So there are some cases where we cannot achieve the requirement with basic filtering. That time we need to go and try with advanced filtering options. Text filters, we'll see. So we will see now. So basically when you bring the tables, sometimes you will filter the data on text columns. When you bring the tables, sometimes you will filter the data on date columns to achieve our requirement. Sometimes you will filter the data on number columns. So one by one column we'll see. So sometimes to achieve the requirement, we need to filter the data on number columns, or sometimes to achieve the requirement, we need to filter the data on text data type columns, text columns, or sometimes date columns. So we will see how to filter the data on number column, how to filter the data on text column, how to filter the data on date columns. Based on the data type of the column, based on the data type of the column, the options will change. How to filter the data on number column, we'll see. How to filter the data on number column. So when you are filtering the data on number column, the options is different. When you filter the data on date column, the advanced filtering options are different. When you are filtering the data on text column, the advanced filtering options are different. We'll try to filter the data on each data type column and we'll see what options we have there and how to use that option. First we'll see how to filter the data on text data type column. Filtering the data, text data type columns. Data type columns. Whenever we need to filter the data on text data type columns, how to filter it, we'll see now. You need to go to the column, take an example. So same example, I want to load region with central orders. I want to load only the regions which contains central region data. One way, I can do it with basic filtering. Whatever you can do it with basic filtering, you can even do it with advanced filtering options, guys. When I want to load central data, one way, I can do it with basic. If you are able to do it with basic, easy way is go and do it with basic. Whatever we can do with basic, we can even do with advanced filters also. Now when I want to load only central data, how can I load it? Go here, text filters. This time I'll try to use advanced filters. In the advanced filters, you need to go and choose one option. So I want to load central region data. Text filters, region equals to, equals. You want to write here, central. Region equals to what? Central. You can click on this down button, you can choose a value or else you can type it. So I'm writing central here. So central. When I press OK, it is not showing any data here. What might be the problem here? If you observe, the region column contains central. I'm asking to write a filter condition, region equal to central, but it is not showing any data. What might be the problem? In the data I have central region, but when I write the filter condition region equal to central, it is not showing. So what is the problem is, C should be capital. Text filters in Power Query is case sensitive. Text filters in Power Query is case sensitive. Text filters in Power Query is case sensitive. Case sensitive. So here in the data, if you go and observe, central is there in C uppercase, remaining lowercase. But while writing the filter condition, I written C in lowercase. That is the reason it is not showing the data. So one way to change the filter condition is, beside the step you will see a settings icon, gear icon. When I click on that gear icon, you can edit that step. When I click on that gear icon, I can edit that step. I can go and change it to central here. When I press OK, I can get the data. This is one way. I can go to the gear icon, I can change it. So another way to change it is directly in the formula bar also you can change it. I can go to the formula bar, I can type C, capital C and press enter. I got the data. So make a note, text filters in Power Query or case sensitive. Okay. Now we are seeing equal to. Take an example. Let me remove this. If you want, you can keep this filter and you can go and add additional filters also, no problem at all. But to make it simple, I'll remove it. I have totally 17 subcategories with me. Out of 17 subcategories, totally how many subcategories I have is 17 different subcategories I have. So out of 17 subcategories, I want to load 16 subcategories into my Power Pivot. Into Power Pivot, I want to load 16 subcategories. I want to stop loading only one subcategory called copiers. Except copiers, I want to load every subcategory. Totally 17 are there. Out of 17, I want to load 16 subcategories. I want to stop loading only copiers. How can you stop it? This time, you can go here. There is text filters. You need to go with does not equals to. So when you want to load only copiers, equal to copiers, it will load out of 17 subcategories, it will load only one subcategory, copiers. But this time the requirement is something different. Out of 17, I want to load 16, I want to stop loading only one. When you want to stop loading only one, you need to go with does not equals to. Does not equals to copiers. So what it will do is, so it accept copiers in subcategory column, except copiers, everything will be loaded to PowerPoint. Only copiers it will stop loading. So it will load subcategories does not equal to copiers. When subcategories other than copiers, it will load. Other than does not equals to other than. When you go here, does not equal to copiers. If you go and check here, you will see all the subcategories except copiers. When a column contains lot of values, if you don't want to load one particular value, go with does not equals to. Go with does not equals to. Take an example, I have state column. I don't want to load Texas data. I want to load every state data except Texas. When I don't want to load only Texas data, when I don't want to load text filters, does not equals to Texas. You can write text filters does not equal to Texas. When I write does not equal to Texas, now you are seeing Texas. When I write does not equal to Texas, you will not see these two records. When I press OK, you will not see Texas there. Except Texas, it will load. Does not equals to. Then there are some cases where we need to write the condition on starting characters. I want to load the customers whose names are starting with LN. I want to load the customers whose names are starting with LN. When you want to write the condition based on starting characters, you can go here, text filters. We discussed equals to, does not equals to. Next one is begins with. So I want to load the customers whose names are beginning with yes. I want to load only the customer names whose names are beginning with yes. You can give a single character or you can give multiple characters here. When I press OK, it will show only the customers whose names are starting with this. Or else I want to load the customers whose names are starting with LN. When I click on LN, it will show the customers whose names are starting with LN. Right? So whenever you need to write condition based on static characters, you can go with begins with. So when I go here, when I start begins with S, it will show only the customers whose names are starting with S. So there is another option called does not begins with. Does not begins with. I want to load the customers whose names are not beginning with S. When I give does not begins with S, what happens is customer name column contains customer name starting with A to Z. Customer name starting with A, customer name starting with B, and so on. You have till Z. When I write customer name does not begins with S, except S, you will even have customer name starting with S, except S. If the customer name is starting except S, it will load it. If the customer name is starting except S, it will load everything S. It will load everything. It will load customer name starting with A, starting with B, starting with C, starting with Z, everything. When a customer name is starting with S, it will not load. I'm asking does not begins with S. Load the customer names whose names are not beginning with S, not beginning with S. So when you go and check it, you don't find any customers whose names are beginning with S. Fine. If you want to write based on starting characters, you can go with begins with and does not begins with. If you want to write any condition based on ending characters, I want to show the customers whose names are ending with LN, ends with LN. If you want to show the customers whose names are ending with LN, you can write it. When I click on LN, it will show only the customers whose names are ending with LN. Whose names are ending with LN. Fine. It is showing ending characters only. It will, whenever you need to write a condition based on ending characters, you can go with ends with. So I want to show the customers whose names are ends with LL. When I want to show the customers whose names are ending with LL, when I click on this, it will show only the customers whose names are ending with LL. So there is one more option called does not ends with. Does not ends with. Does not end with LL. If a customer name is ending with LL, it will not show now. If a customer name is ending with LL, it will not show. It will show only the customers' names which are not ending with LL, which are not ending with LL. So sometimes we'll have people will enter my name like this: Sunil Kumar A. So sometimes people will enter my name like this. Sometimes A Sunil Kumar. Sometimes they will enter Kumar A Sunil. So if you see Sunil, sometimes it will be there starting, will be there in the middle, will be there in the end. So I want to show the names contain Sunil, whether it is starting or whether it is middle, whether it is last. Wherever the name contains Sunil, I want it. If you go with begins with, you will get only this. If you go with ends with, you will get only this. So I want wherever it is, whether it is beginning or ending or middle, wherever the customer name contains Sunil, I want it. When you want to write like that, you need to just go with customer name contains. There is an option called contains. You can write it. Customer names contains Ellen, I want it. When I select contains, it will show the customers whose names are ending with Ellen. It will show the customers whose names are starting with Ellen. It will even show the customers whose names are containing Ellen in between also. Even in the between ABC, Ellen, XYZ, if you even have ABC, Ellen, XYZ, it will still show, guys. It will still show. Right. Now, does not contains. There is another option, does not contains Ellen. When I go with does not contains, when I give Ellen, if a name contains Ellen, it will not show. For some reasons, if a name contains Ellen, it will not show. Look at this. In the list, Sane is there. If a name, I want to show customers where name does not contain Sane. I don't want to show the customers where name contains Sane in it. So for that, I'm writing here, does not contains Sane. When I write does not contain Sane, when I press OK, will you see this name? You don't see this name. As soon as I press OK, it will show only the customers which does not contain Sane in it. When I press OK, you will not see that customer where you see Sane. Right? Like this, these are the advanced filtering options you have on a text column. Based on requirement, we might need to go and choose any one of these options. So we will came to know, I have a table, I have a text column, I want to load only these records. Based on our requirement, we need to frame the condition here using these options. Anybody have any questions about this text advanced filtering options for text column? Or how to filter the data on text column?
Right, sir. Suppose if you want to filter, I mean, three names in that. So, can we able to edit that formula or filtering kind of thing?
What is the three names?
I mean, suppose in any column, suppose we need to require only for three names only.
You can edit it. Or condition. There is a or condition. Let's take an example. I have subcategory column. I don't want to load all the subcategory columns here. I want to only load subcategories, tables, chairs, and forms. Three subcategories I want to load it. Go here, text column. Go here, equals to. I want to load chairs, subcategories equal to chairs, or equals to tables. I want to write one more condition. When I'm in basic, I can write only two conditions. I want to go to advanced. When I go to advanced, I can add one more condition. Add class or equals to phones. This time, so it will show subcategories equal to chairs or tables or phones. It will show three subcategories here. Only the three subcategories. You can write a number of conditions here. In the advanced, based on your requirement, you can write it. Is it the one you are asking?
Yes, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
We'll discuss it. Any other questions?
Hi, sir. I have one doubt. As you said, we don't want one name. We are used to suppose does not equal to. For example, for example, if I don't want two names,
write two conditions. Two conditions. So in the same does not equal to, you can go and write two conditions also, right? Here, does not equals to. I don't want chairs. I don't want chairs. And does not equals to. So when subcategory does not equal chairs, I don't want it, or does not equals to copiers. I'll go and select another one here, or accessories. Does not equals to. So I want to write under or condition here. So it is showing chairs. Let's check it. Right, it is writing showing chairs. You need to go and choose under. If subcategory does not equal to chairs or and does not equal to accessories, I don't want to show it. If you go and check it here, you don't find chairs, you don't find accessories here. You don't find anywhere. You want to write two conditions there, does not equals to, and you need to choose under or operator based on our requirement here.
Okay. Thank you, sir.
Fine. The next one is, we'll see how to filter the data on name or number column. Let me bring another Excel files, EMP, DEPT Excel files. Press OK. I have a EMP table where I want to load the employees. This EMP table contains employees of 10th department, 20th department, and 30th department, 50th department. But into the Power Pivot, I want to load only 30th department employees. When I want to load only 30th department employees into the Power Pivot, I need to filter the data. One way, you can do it using basic filtering. Uncheck, select 30, press OK. It will load only 30th department employees. That is basic filtering. In advanced filtering, so in advanced filtering also you can do it. If you want to load only 30th department, I can go here, number filters equals to 30. When I want to load only 30th department, I can select equals to 30. It will load only 30th department employees into the Power Pivot. So I have 4 departments. I want to load all the departments except 50. I want to load 30th, 10th department, 20th department, 30th department except 50. I don't want to load 50. I want to load all of the departments. I can write what? Number filters does not equals to 50. I can go and write number filters does not equal to 50. When I write number filters does not equal to 50, other than 50, it will load every department. Tomorrow, if you even get a department number 40, it will load. It will just stop loading only 50th department. Other than 50, it will load every department. And there are other options there. I want to load only the employees whose salaries is less than 3,000. I want to load, there are employees who have salaries greater than 3,000, equal to 3,000. There are employees who have salaries greater than 3,000. Greater than 3,000. There are employees who have salaries equal to 3,000. But I want to load only the employees whose salaries are less than 3,000. When you want to load only the employees whose salaries are less than 3,000, you just need to go with less than. Less than, I can write 3,000. When I press OK, it will show only the employees whose salaries are less than 3,000. I don't see any employees who have salaries equal to 3,000, greater than 3,000. So I want to even include 3,000 salary also here. I want to load the employees who have salaries less than or equal to 3,000. So I want to include 3,000 also. When you want to load the employees whose salaries are less than or equal to 3,000, you can go with an option called less than or equal to. Less than or equal to what? 3,000. When I press OK, so this time it will even include 3,000 also. Previously when I select less than, so now it is less than or equal to. It will include this 3,000 also. So equal to 3,000 it will show less than 3,000. Right? The same way, I want to load only the employees whose salaries are greater than 3,000. Here in our table, greater than 3,000, I have only 2 employees. One employee is 5,000, is another employee 10,000. I want to load only these 2 employees, Sunil and King. These are the 2 employees who have salary greater than 3,000. Whenever you need to load the employees whose salaries is greater than 3,000, number filters greater than 3,000. Greater than 3,000. It will show only 2 employees who have salaries greater than 3,000. So I want to include 3,000 also. I want to load the employees whose salaries are 3,000 and greater than 3,000. When you want to load them, just go here, number filters greater than or equal to 3,000. It will include 3,000 also here. Starting from 3,000, greater than 3,000, it will load. Same way, I want to load between. Take an example, I have orders table. In orders table, I have a row ID column. I want to load the employees whose row IDs are starting from 1 to 1,000 or 1 to 100. I want to load only the employees whose row IDs are starting from 1 till 100. So there are employees who have row IDs 100, greater than 100 also we have it. But I want to load the employees whose row IDs are starting from 1 till 100. How can you do that? Go to the row ID column, number filters, between. When I go to the between, I can select starting from row ID 1 till 100, I want it. you just want to give 1 here, you just want to give 100 here. It will load the employees who have row ID starting from 1 till where? 100. It will not show anything. Between means, between is nothing but is greater than or equal to, and is less than or equal to is nothing but between. Between 1 and 100, 1 and 100, this is nothing but row ID between 1 and 100 is nothing but row ID is greater than or equal to 1 and row ID is less than or equal to 100, right? I want to load the employees whose salaries are between 1000 and 3000. Take an example, I have a EMP table. I want to load the employees whose salaries are between 1000 and 3000. So between 1000 and 3000 means between 1000 and 3000. I want to load the employees whose salaries are between 1000 and 3000. The meaning is, so between 1000 and 3000 means salaries greater than or equal to 1000 and salaries less than or equal to 3000. This is nothing but, this condition is nothing but between 100 and 3000, 1000 and 3000, between 1000 and 3000. Salaries starting from 1000 and greater than 1000. Till where? Salaries less than or equal to 3000. Till 3000, till less than 3000. So whenever you need to load only the salaries between 1000 and 3000. When the salaries are less than 1000, I don't want to load it. These two values, I don't want to load it. When the salaries are greater than 3000, I don't want to load it. These 4 records, I don't want to load it. Totally 15 are there. So in 15, I don't want to load 4 records. I want to load only the salaries which are between 1000 and 3000. For them, so only 11 records that will match. I can go here, number filters, I can go with between. When I click on between, it will tell you the salary value is greater than or equal to 1000, starting from 1000, greater than 1000, till where? Till 3000. Equal to 3000 or less than 3000. When I press OK, it will show 11 records which match that condition. Whenever you want to load some between values, you can go with between. These are the advanced filtering options you have. I'll discuss, guys, here. When you go here, when to go with OR operator, when to go with AND operator. If both the conditions are true, if you want to get the output, you need to go with AND. For now, I'll write it on high level. When both the conditions are true, if you want to get the output, you need to go with AND. When both conditions are true, if you want to get the output, if both the conditions are true, if you want to get the output, then we need to go with AND. Then we need to go with AND. With practical examples, you'll see. When both the conditions are true, if you want output, then we need to go with AND, guys. AND. When to go with OR, if any one of the condition is true, if any one of the condition is true, when any one of the condition is true, if you want to output, when any one of the condition is true, if we need a output, if we need a output, then we need to go with OR, guys. Then we need to go with OR. Right? So when both the conditions are true, if you want to go with when we want an output, if you want an output, then we need to go with AND. So if any one of the condition is true, if you want an output, then we need to go with OR. We'll see with practical examples. So for now, any questions on how to apply the filter condition on number columns? Number columns. Fine. The next one is on the date column. When you want to filter the data on date column, you will see lot of options, guys. When you go to date filters, we'll see lot of options. What we'll do is, I'll share one video with you now. One video with you. That video will explain how to apply the filter condition on date column. How to filter the data on date column. So in that video, you can find explanation about all these options. On a date column, when you go and see equals to, before, after, between, in the next, in the previous, is earliest, every options what you have here, you can find explanation about them. And not only that, the same video will explain about how to write the filter conditions on 2 columns at a time. Sometimes we need to write filter conditions on 2 columns at a time. We need to apply filter conditions on 2 columns at a time. When you want to write the filter conditions, not only 2 columns, you might need to write filter conditions on multiple columns at a time. So take an example. I want to load Central Region 2017 data only. Central Region 2017 data. I want to see in Central Region in 2017 year how many orders was placed. Only on that data I want to load into the Power Pivot. I want to perform the analysis. So when I want to load only central data, I need to apply the filter condition on region column. So when I want to load only 2017 data, I want to apply the filter condition on order date column. That means I need to apply the filter condition on multiple columns at a time. Multiple columns at a time. How to write the filter conditions on multiple columns? You can find the explanation in that video. In the same video, you can find the explanation about how to apply the filter condition on multiple columns. Filter condition on multiple columns. So same way, when we are trying to apply the filter condition on multiple columns, so take an example, the requirement is something like this case. I want to load the employees whose department is 10. I want to load the employees whose department is 10 or job equal to salesman. The requirement is something like this case. Load the employees where department number equal to 10. If the employee is having department number equal to 10, I want to load them. Or even job equal to salesman, I want to load them. So whether department number equal to 10 or job equal to salesman. For the employees who have job as salesman, I want to load them. For Martin, the job is sales. For Turner, the job is salesman, I want to load it. For Martin, salesman, I want to load it. For Ward, salesman, I want to load it. For Allen, salesman, I want to load it. There are 4 employees who have job as salesman. I want to load these 4 employees. Not only these 4, even I want to load the employees whose department number is 10. Tell me guys, we already discussed how to filter the data on number column. We already discussed how to filter the data on text column. The requirement is, I want to load the employees where department number equal to 10 or job equal to salesman. So totally 7 employees are there. 3 employees are having department 10, I want to load them, and 4 employees are having job equal to salesman. I want to even load that 4 employees. Totally 7 employees I want to load it. How to load it? Let me go here. I'm going here on a department number column. I'm applying the filter condition. Department number equals to what? 10. I can write 10. Press OK. How can you write job equal to salesman condition here? First of all, when you write department number equal to 10, it got filter the data. Or else, when I go to the job column, when I write job equal to salesman, where is department number 10 here? This time, at a time, I want to filter the data on 2 columns. If you go individually, you cannot get the output. You want to filter, if you want to get this output, at a time you need to filter the data on 2 columns. At a time when I want to filter the data on 2 columns, what you need to do is either go to department number column or job column, any column, no problem. Go here, go to the filters, equals to, select something here. So when you are in the basic, when you are applying the filter, when you are in the advanced filtering section, when you go to advanced filtering section here, when you go and choose any advanced filtering option, there you'll find 2 more options. In the advanced filtering option, you'll find one basic, you'll find one advanced case. So when you are in basic, you can apply the filter on only 1 column. This time, at a time, I want to apply the filter on 2 columns. When you want to apply the filter on 2 columns at a time, you want to go to advanced. So when you are in basic, we can write the filter condition on only 1 column at a time. When you are in basic, you can write only condition 1 and condition 2. When you want to write condition 3, obviously you want to switch back to advanced only. You want to switch back to advanced. Or else if you want to write the conditions on 2 different columns, you need to go to advanced. I'm going to advanced. First condition I need to write on job column, job equal to salesman, or not only salesman, or department. I can choose the column here. Department number equals to 10. Department number equals to 10. So this time it will load where job equal to salesman, it will load the employees. Where department number equal to 10, it will load the employees. So whenever you need to write the condition on 2 columns, you need to go to advanced section there. You can add n number of conditions, add class. You can go and add n number of conditions. If you want, you can delete the conditions. Delete the conditions. Just press OK. As soon as you press OK, look at this. Where job equal to salesman, it is showing the employees. Where department number equal to 10, it is showing the employees. I got the 7 employees, what I have. So it will explain how to apply the filter condition on multiple columns, it will explain. And even in that video, it will explain when to go with AND operator and when to go with OR logical operator. When to go with AND, when to go with OR here. So when you are applying the filter condition here on 2 columns, when you need to choose OR, when you need to choose AND, it will explain this. Please go through that video so that it will give the clear picture about all this. How to apply the filter condition on date columns, it will explain. And then how to apply the filter condition on multiple columns, it will explain. And then it will explain when to use OR and when to use AND. When to use OR, comma, when to use AND, it will explain. Fine. Before we stop for today, anybody have any questions? Right now I'll share the video. Please go through it. So to start next topic, we don't have much time. We'll start it tomorrow. Anyway, I'll share the video right now. So go through that video if you have time. Right? Let me copy these notes. Close and apply. I already shared the Power Query material. I already shared one zip file, Power Query material. Just check your mail. Click on save, desktop. So I'll write it as Power Query filters. Power Query filters. I'm saving the report name as Power Query filters. Click on save.